Hey everyone, welcome to our band instructional videos. In this video, we're going to assemble a clarinet. We're going to discuss the parts of the instrument as well as how to assemble the instrument without harming it in any way in the process. To start, let's open the case. First, make sure the case is right side up. To make sure the case is right side up, most times just check for the brand logo on the case. If you don't see a brand logo and you're still not sure which way is up, A, ask your band director, or open the case very, very slowly. Remember, we don't want anything falling on the floor, getting cracked or dented. Your instrument gets hurt, it might need to go out for repair, which could leave you without a horn for a week or more. Please note, in this particular case, I have a zipper that opens my case. Your case might have buckles or latches. Now, let's look at the parts of your clarinet while they're still in the case. The clarinet has 5 basic parts. Going from bottom to top, we have the bell, the lower body joint, the upper body joint, the barrel, and the mouthpiece on top. Of course, you look at the mouthpiece, there is going to be a ligature and a reed on the mouthpiece eventually. I discuss putting the reed on the mouthpiece in another video. Now, looking at the 2 different body joints, the upper and lower, a new player might have a difficult time telling them apart because they do look similar. Look at these defining factors. The lower body joint has the thumb rest, where you will eventually support the weight of the clarinet on, you guessed it, your thumb. The upper body joint is the shorter of the 2 body joints. Now, let's talk about cork grease for a second. There should be cork grease in your case at all times. Many of your clarinet's parts have cork on one or both ends. Over time, these corks can dry out. This is likely not your fault. This has to do with the weather. This has to do with the air. If this is the case, it can make putting your clarinet together more difficult than it needs to be. So, if you find your corks on the drier side, add a little cork grease to the corks. I like to add a little dab on the north side, a little dab on the south side, a little dab on the east side, and a little dab on the west side. Just a little on the north, south, east, and west. Less is more, and this should make putting the clarinet together a little bit easier. Now, let's put the horn together. Begin by putting your reed either in a little cup of water or holding the reed in your mouth to saturate the reed in saliva. We want the reed to be wet and saturated by the time you're ready to play. Dry reeds make squeaks. It's very important to remember in this process to not dent or bend or drop any parts of your clarinet at any time. If anything gets hurt, you might need to send out your clarinet for repair, and that leaves you without a horn for a week or more perhaps. Remember, it's your instrument. Take care of it. Start by picking up the bell and the lower body joint from your case. Remember, the lower body joint is the one with the thumb rest. Notice that I'm trying to hold the lower body joint from the bottom where there's the fewest keys that could be bent in the process. Gently place and twist these 2 pieces together. Take your time. Next, pick up the upper body joint. We're going to gently place and twist the upper body joint into the lower body joint. Notice I'm still holding my clarinet from places where there's the least chance I'm going to bend anything by accident. This step can be a little tricky in the process. Notice on the bottom of the upper body joint and the top of the lower body joint, there are these little spatulas on the instrument. When connecting the two body joints, you want these spatulas to interconnect and touch because they move together when you're playing. For reference, when you're connecting the upper and lower body joints, the keys should also line up. If your clarinet does not look like this, you might have one of the joints upside down, or you might just need to rotate it around a little bit. Next step, we're going to take our barrel out of the case, and we are going to connect the barrel to the top of the upper body. Gentle place and gentle twist. Last and certainly not least, you're going to take your mouthpiece and gently place and twist the mouthpiece into the barrel of your instrument. Note that the reed on the mouthpiece should be lined up with the thumb hole on the upper body joint as well as the thumb rest on the lower body joint. Speaking of the reed, if you already have the reed on your mouthpiece during this step, be very, very careful. Do not break the reed or you're going to have to replace it. Try to do this step with the mouthpiece cap on. Remember, I cover reed placement in a different video. Alright folks, let's review. When taking out the clarinet, be so very, very careful. Make sure the case is right side up so nothing falls out. The parts of the clarinet: bell, lower body, that's the one with the thumb rest, upper body, that's the shorter one, barrel, and mouthpiece. There's also a ligature and a reed on the mouthpiece. When assembling, be so very careful not to bend or dent anything. The lower body attaches to the bell, the upper body attaches next, the barrel attaches next, and the mouthpiece goes on top. Always gentle place and twist. Try to hold your instrument from places where you're not going to dent or bend anything. And here is your fully assembled clarinet. Now go practice.